Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, please, please, don't throw me out. Please, I beg you. Let me be with my children. I don't need them. Why? They are all girls. They will grow and get married and leave my house and they won't be of no use to me. Oh, please. Why are you doing this to me? Why? Why are you doing this to us? Please. Just let me be with them. Now, this was the cry of my helpless mother when she was begging my constantly angry father. Yes. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? This kept playing in my head as an adult and as a mother for so many years. Well, I grew up in a kind of messy home, an abused home. My father will hit my mother and he will yell and shout at any slight provocation. He will rain curses and abuses on myself and my sisters. And I lived constantly in fear. Mine was a loud home. And we have some sisters there anyway. But then, I couldn't wait to get out of that house. I could do anything to please anybody. Just let me leave. That was the story of my childhood trauma. Yes, and at 19, I got married. And I left. So trauma is our conversation today, right? Trauma is a response to a deeply disturbing, distressing event that overwhelms an individual's ability to cope. It diminishes your sense of self. It takes away your power. It puts you in a constant place of pain. And I experienced that firsthand. So when this topic was given to me, I was smiling. And I said, yes. I feel very proud and comfortable to share my vulnerability with people. And I say today that this is my calling. So when I got married, I knew everything that I didn't want to go wrong, including how to parent my children, including how not to turn out to be like my mother, whom as at that time I felt was too weak to stand up for herself. Guess what? I will tell my children, don't shout, don't be like mommy. Don't shout. You know, mommy grew up in a home where everybody shouted. My father would shout, my mother would shout, my siblings would shout, everybody would shout. Don't shout though. When I finish talking, they'll be like, I didn't know. It took me time really to realize that The monster I was trying to fight consciously was actually buried in my subconscious mind. And then I unconsciously transferred that same monster to my children without even paying attention to it. I was only talking, right? Is talking enough? So, unknown to me, my children became master yellers. They had mastered the art of shouting and yelling and talking loud. Even when I said to them, Mommy doesn't have a bedroom voice, so you better learn it. Ladies and gentlemen, childhood is inevitable, right? Trauma is inevitable. So let me ask you a question in this hall. Do you sometimes find yourself overwhelmed by the behavior of your child? You ask yourself, but I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best to be a good parent. What's happening? Why is this child behaving this way? Why is she turning out to be like so person like me? Like, of course, for parents, sometimes we don't agree. We don't want to agree that we are actually the worst, right? So, you tell yourself, sometimes when you react, you tell yourself, I want to become better. Many a times you feel disappointed. You feel ashamed at your reaction towards your children. Really. Because when the practicals arrive, no matter how you tell yourself, if you are doing it consciously, like what I was doing before, hey, you will suddenly become very disappointed at yourself. This childhood experience, really, we call it adverse childhood experience, right? It has been linked with toxic, stressful environment. It could be family, it could be your environment, it could be your significant emotional experiences that you've gotten as a child, which I experienced, even not knowing that I was passing it down to my children. The effects of childhood trauma on their childhood trauma, parents who experience childhood trauma on their children's behavior, is that if not tapped into and helped consciously, it can pass down to what we call the mother wound. It's like the generational curse that Mr. Chris was talking about. Sometimes we think it's a generational curse. No, it is not. However, the mother wound is true. Sometimes our experiences as mothers could be passed down to our children. I inherited my mother's, right? And then I thought I was educated, so I knew I should do better. There is a current research by the American Psychologists Association that the research was on how many different types of adverse childhood experiences were endured by parents of 2,529 kids, and how often the kids experience emotional or behavioral problems or attention issues. Now, listen to the result of this research. Compared to children whose parents didn't experience ASI, children whose parents went through one type of adverse childhood experience or the other were 44% more likely to have what? hyperactivity, and 56% more apt to have emotional and mental health issues. Trauma is real. Open your ears. When parents experience at least four different kinds of trauma, their kids will twice as likely have hyperactivity and 4 times more likely to have emotional or mental health problems. Mothers' experiences appears to be higher and has a bigger impact on their children's health than fathers. This is because, of course, before we have the likes of Chris and many others, before now, mothers spend, if not 99.9% time with their children. So the children watch you. They learn from you. They learn more from what you don't even say. From your non-verbal signs. They learn from your body languages. So, for the very first 19 years of my life, I watched my mother cry every night. Initially, I didn't know. I would just wake up and see her crying, and I'll be like, why are you always crying? And then until I started growing and I got to be part of the fair share of the yelling and the shouting and all that. And I understood. There is a movie called My Dear. How many of you have watched My Dear? Yes, so My Dear's movie by Tyler Perry, you know, it's a family reunion, but it's a great example of a mother who passed down from generations to generation. A mother selling her child for $10. And the child once, of course, she became a mother, and she sold her own daughter in the form of rape. For what? For better life. Now, among other things, chronic exposure to adverse childhood experiences during childhood may make it harder for parents to be able to bond with their children. I thought I loved my kids initially. I loved them. But fast forward to now, I realized that I was truly not able to bond with them on a 100% level because I didn't get that growing up as a child. So, I was also having challenges with my spouse initially because I came in with a whole load of expectations. I wanted him to be my father, to be my brother, to be my uncle, to be everything. Haba, is he not human? But hey, you can't blame me because I lacked that. And I know that my story is not very far from the story of others. But there is a difference. The difference between you and I today is that I have worked on myself. I am more self-aware. I now know better how to handle my emotions, how to help myself, and even develop a blueprint, a parenting blueprint for my family. Now, this is bringing me to say that every challenge has a solution. I'm going to share with you 7 steps. 7 steps to take in order for you to heal from childhood trauma. These were the steps that I took. They are tested and trusted. I remembered when I was talking earlier, I said, when I was giving this topic, I smiled. And I said, this is like going out to do my thing, practically. First of all, you need to acknowledge and recognize the trauma. There is a tool we develop in my academy called the ABC tool. A says that, first of all, you need to accept that there is a challenge, there is trauma. Remember, if you don't even accept it, you are going nowhere. B says you need to believe 100% that there is solution to my challenge. And the C says, am I ready to stay committed to this journey of healing and self-discovery? I call it self-rediscovery. And D says, I am ready. I am determined. I am determined to let go. I am determined to forgive. I am determined to become the brand new person that I want to be. Yes, secondly, seek help and don't isolate yourself. Kindly bring yourself, your kids, and every person that you know is important in this journey of healing. Talk about it. In my case, I started holding family meetings with my family. First of all, I needed to apologize to my kids. I had to tell them, I need help. You need to help mommy. I am on a journey to heal. However, I know I cannot do this alone. I need you. And like Chris said, yes, in the Christendom, we say agreement. In Islam, we say, yes, we came together and then we had yaqeen. We trusted that this is going to work for us. So, they started becoming my accountability partners. So the number of times I have yelled, they will record it. And I consciously also registered myself in personal development classes. This is one thing I want to advise us. We shouldn't just sit down and claim that we know it all. Oh, I can do it all. God will help me. Like, yes, but is that a strategy, like Irene said? It is not a strategy. Because even God wants you to act. It's not enough that you are saying or action. You need to act. So when they say, come and register in personal development classes, Nigerians, a typical Nigerian person will say, it's too expensive. When Mr. Onoja will advertise for emotional intelligence, people will say it's too expensive. But really, there is no price that you can pay for knowledge, added value. Yes, I enrolled myself because I knew I needed to be better. I needed to become better. Another point is for you to embark on self-care. You need to take care of yourself. It's important. So I started taking break from everything. So I will work, and towards the end of the year, of course, because my family knows, we talk. My spouse, I tell him, you know what? Of course, we all agreed. When it is the end of the year, I'm going to go on a break. Sorry, I'm not going to go with anybody. I want to go and take care of myself. I mean, I have tried now. For 19 years, I was being bullied. I was crying. Now it's time for me to take care of myself. So self-care is very important. If you are not looking at that, please begin to take yourself out for lunch. Now, learn the true meaning. This is key. If there's anything you want to take home from all that I've been saying so far, is this next point. Please, learn the true meaning of acceptance and letting go. It's important. Many a times, we tell ourselves, you know what, I've moved on, I've forgiven. But you and I know that you did not forgive anything. And because you haven't let go of those toxic feelings in you, is actually dragging you backwards. So, did I tell you that I only forgave my father 5 years ago? Yes, I forgave him. And that was when I experienced true happiness in life. He didn't even know better. I realized he didn't know better. Let go. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. But however, if you are ready to embark on your personal development journey, see a therapist, please, it will help. And for the young people, of course, you are going to get married, right? You can't even afford to go in there with your baggages because it will haunt you just the way it haunted me. So let go. You're letting go not because of the person, but because of you. You need it. It's for you. And you should also know that the person that actually caused you the trauma may not really even know that you're forgiving. Yes. If you have the opportunity to talk to the person, fine. Otherwise, just know that forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness puts you in a place of power. And another thing that has kept me so far, I know my cohorta women are here. You will say, Coach HALIMA started. Yes. One thing that has kept me and that has kept you, whether you like it or not, is hope. So, prayers. If you believe in God, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, prayers, this will help. You need to recognize that there is a higher being. There is a force that is bigger than you and I, than even the person that has caused you pain. So recognizing that force will help you as quickly as possible to get over your pain, to get over the trauma. And remember that that's the only way you can stop the generational curse, like he said, or passing down the mother's wound. There is also the father's wound, anyways, but I'm not here to talk about that. Yes, consciously replace bad habits with good ones. Consciously try. Try. Listen to learn to do, like affirmations for those people that know affirmations. Listen to positive things. I say even music, listen to positive music. It will help. Make sure you are in the right circle of influence. Make sure you have good network of people around you. It will help you. And above all, my name is Halima. Do you know the meaning of Halima? I don't want the Muslims to answer. Do you know the meaning of Halima? Patience. Above all, be patient. You know why? Because you have recognized that there's a higher being. Be patient. Well, Today I'm standing here. I'm not defined by my pain. I'm not defined by my trauma. So be patient. One day it will be your turn. And then finally, as Fred Rogers said, anything that is human is mentionable. And anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. When we talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. The people we trust with that important talk can help us know that we are not alone. Good afternoon, everyone.